I'm Joe.
And I'm Lee.
We are the Rewinders, rewatching childhood movies to see if they hold up. And this week is an extended week of the month of love that was
Get
February.
out of it, still stuck in it. And to help us with this bonus edition is our guest, Natalie.
Hello.
Hello.
We're doing this for her because it's her birthday.
Yeah.
And in this movie, this is one of your favorite all time?
This is one of my all-time favorite movies.
What is
For
it?
sure.
What is it?
When Harry Met Sally.
Oh.
Okay, I don't usually like rom-coms, but this one, to me, seems more realistic.
I agree, and I think it's a good one to end on for the month of month of romantic movies that we kept on saying in quotes.
Wow.
But this one is more realistic than any of the other ones that we've done.
Yeah, there was
Except
hugging.
for Mannequin. What do you guys remember about this movie as a kid and things like that?
I'll start because I'll be the shortest of this one.
And then I'll
I don't
probably
remember
second.
anything. I remember hearing about the orgasm
Sure.
scene, and I don't remember when that was when I heard about it. But it was something I knew that was there. That's all I knew about this movie.
And for me as well, this is not a childhood movie. I just knew of its existence. And again, just hearing of the orgasm scene, maybe seeing it, but not being interested in it necessarily.
When it first came out, I wasn't terribly interested in it, but I kept seeing bits and pieces here and there on cable. But I always liked the little scenes with the actual couples or actors portraying couples telling true stories of how people met. It always reminded me of my grandma, and she would tell this story of how she and my grandpa met. Very similar to one of the stories that's in the movie.
Which one? How did they meet?
Okay, so they went to a school dance.
Okay.
And my grandma came in with her friends, and my grandpa was across the room with his friends. And she looked across the room and saw him and said, "He's mine."
Oh my.
And he looked across the room and saw her and told his friends, "She's mine."
Oh my.
And that was it.
At the same time, it was the Under Enchantment sea dance, and
I have no idea what dance
then
it was,
Marty
but
McFly was.
that's how they met. And, I had this romantic story growing up, like,
That is
love at
pretty
first
good.
sight. It was beautiful.
Lies. I'm calling here. No. Lies. No, I'm kidding.
There was a lot of passion in that marriage.
I don't have any stories about my parents meeting that way or grandparents.
I have no idea how my parents
No.
met.
We met in a weird way.
You and Joe?
No, you and me.
Oh, you mean with the interwebs and me
Yeah.
being a murderer on the other line, on the other end of the computer?
Yes, that my landlady threatened to come down and murder if she heard me screaming.
Exactly. And instead, it was me screaming, so she was the landlady.
She was okay.
She didn't do anything. So, those are our memories of When Harry Met Sally. So let's get
Wildly off track.
Yeah, well, that's fine. So it's a Rob Reiner directed movie.
Rob Reiner.
Rob
not,
Reiner.
Not that other guy.
Who's the other guy?
Now I can't remember his name.
Oh man, you're not. See, you bring up names, but you're so bad at it. So, like, do you know who Rob Reiner is, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I watched other movies of his recently, so...
Yeah, The Princess Bride being one for the podcast.
Well, no, but I watched Spinal Tap the other
okay.
past week.
Great.
So.
How about North?
Nobody wants to watch North.
I know.
No one. Okay.
All right, jazzy credits.
Yes, we have Harry Connick Jr. playing some good piano and singing musics. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
This was
good.
really my introduction to jazz
Sure.
type music.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, did I go headlong into that?
And like you said, we start off with old couples on a couch, and we shot straight on, and they're telling their how they met stories. And I didn't see this as a kid. I saw it definitely parts later on, and I always thought that these were actual couples, but now I can tell that they were actors, which is fine. But it's still, they're very good, and they're
telling real stories.
they're telling real stories, which is good, and those are placed all throughout the movie. But we start off with one right away as an introduction, and then now we're shown to be 1977 in Chicago College, and Billy Crystal as Harry is making out with random brown-haired girl.
She has a name, Lee.
I don't remember her name, and neither do the characters later on in the movie.
True.
What's her name? Joe. You're good at names.
I think it was like Amanda or
Amanda.
something.
Amanda Reese.
Amanda.
Yeah, see?
Joe.
Suck it.
I'm going to get ganged up on this podcast. So Billy Crystal being the oldest man in college now because he's in his 40s and he's
did a good
pretending
job
to be
making him look
22. I know. It's just silly, I thought. But whatever, I understand it. And he is making out with this girl, and then yellow car pulls up, and it's Meg Ryan, and she's in her that 70s show makeup and hair.
I'm shaking my head.
And she's shaking her head, too, because she's watching them make out, and that's her roommate with Harry, and she's Sally.
Just a friend, actually.
Just a friend?
Yeah.
I thought they were roommates. No, whatever. But the whole point here is that this is the first time they meet, and that both of them, Harry and Sally, are driving to New York City together to start their lives after college, basically, right?
Yes.
Gets in the car, and right away they set out, okay, here are the exact opposites. Sally is organized. She's ready to drive. She's planned out the route. Everything is ready to go, and she's talking about it. Harry doesn't care. He's already reaching over and getting grapes and then eats some grapes and spits out the seed into the unrolled down window.
They're getting into this conversation that shows you that he is in tune with the dark side.
Supposed.
Yeah, well, it's that college age where
It's
you think you know
exactly, yes.
everything. She's more positive and cheerful and hopeful about everything in the future. And
everything's going to be great. She's going to journalism school. She's going to be great. And he talks about death and thinks about it too much.
He
And
reads the last page of a book first.
Yep. And that's the thing. Yeah, he's very arrogant he thinks he knows everything. Of course, it's 20s age, college.
Early 20s.
Yep. And the big thing that happens is, they stop at a restaurant, a diner, and Sally, being Sally, orders her thing special.
Yeah, it's like super special. It's not
Super
just special.
It's not just, I would like extra pickles on my burger. It's, I want those pickles off to the side, and they have to be exactly 1 inch diameter, and well, not exactly, but pretty close to that.
If you're a waiter, this is
the worst.
your
The worst
nightmare
nightmare.
customer.
The worst customer. She better tip extra. It doesn't really show she does, and she probably wouldn't tip extra.
She calculated her tip very carefully after that. And while Billy Crystal kind of just took a wadded bill and threw it at the table.
Yep, just to keep on showing. It's all throughout the entire movie, it's sometimes very blatant. Look, they're different, and sometimes very subtle like that, where if you don't notice. Yep.
Right.
She calculated, put it all out, and wadded up paper. Money, who cares?
The big thing is, before they come into the diner, just before they leave the car, they're talking about Casablanca.
Oh, that's right.
Talking about how Ingrid Bergman's character goes off with the rich man who will give her a good life.
Stable life.
Instead of staying with the bar owner.
Yeah, and
for
who
love.
knows? Yeah, with Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
Who knows who's gonna?
But she's leaving to get away from Nazis or Germans or whatever the hell it was in that
It was
movie.
Nazis.
But she's leaving her love.
Yes.
Because of Nazis.
So anyway,
Yeah, after they order food.
the conversation is
conversation.
about, would you rather be safe and go with money, or would you stay with love? And she says any woman in her right mind is practical and would go with the guy for the money that would give her the safe life.
Without Nazis.
And Harry thinks that's a bunch of crap. Just saying that you've obviously never had the best sex of your life, and why would you?
She did with Sheldon.
Oh, yeah.
From The Big Bang Theory.
Don't.
Oh, God.
You
no,
don't
please
talk
don't give me that
about
image.
that terrible show in this household. That's your one and only warning.
Yes. Ride me big, Sheldon.
Exactly.
Doesn't exactly.
Yeah, you did not have the best sex of your life, and Sheldon does your taxes and cleans your teeth. But so that's just showing that he's also arrogant, and he's slept around. They've ordered food, they've done eating, and he looks at her and just says, "You're really beautiful," and starts hitting on her. She takes offense, obviously, because it's just a little bit creepy. He's leering at her. He doesn't know her, and he's also dating one of her friends. And they're alone on this trip. So they go back to the car, and she wants none of it. He keeps on jokingly saying, "Oh, no, I'm just kidding." But I wasn't kidding. "Hey there, you want to go to a hotel room?" She passes that up pretty quickly. Says, "No, thanks. You look like Billy Crystal."
And this leads to the conversation that
this
men
is
and
important.
women can never be friends.
Yes. And if you think that's the case, or if you think that's true, it's because then you're just not pretty enough, or he doesn't want to sleep with you, or he's still trying to sleep with you, or if you ask him, he's flat out lying. This is Billy Crystal being arrogant and thinking he knows everything.
That conversation messed with my head as a kid.
As a young Natalie?
Yes. And it stuck with me as I got older. From time to time, I'd have guy friends, and I would ask them, can men and women ever truly be friends? And the answer was always no.
Well, you also have these conversations in, I'm assuming, high school and 20s.
Yeah, it was more
Yes.
high school, early 20s. I was blown away.
It's a generic answer, and it's a somewhat correct answer on how the male brain thinks, but that's a complete different subject and rabbit hole that we could go down to.
So growing up, I was Sally, except for the weird ordering thing.
You're not Sally now, and that's because I wouldn't be married to you otherwise. All right, let's fast forward, and they continue on the trip to New York City. Basically drops off at Central Park somewhere.
Yeah, illegally parks and lets them
Yes, and says, you're the only person I know in New York. Same to you.
If you noticed, it's right outside this big arch.
Are you hinting at something?
Yes.
Are you maybe foreshadowing?
Possibly.
All right.
5 years later, at an airport, Gerald Ford's kid making out with Sally. Oh, Sally's played by...
Is that really Gerald Ford's kid?
Yes.
I was going to say, because it honestly looks like Gerald Ford.
It's Gerald Ford's kid.
It's Sally's boyfriend, Joe.
And yeah, I forgot to say that Sally's played by Meg Ryan. And yeah, they're making out, similar how Harry was making out with that other girl, I guess,
Flippity floppy.
Whatever, Amanda. Harry walks by and he recognizes his friend. Joe is the guy's name.
But which one does he actually recognize?
I think he recognizes her
He recognizes her
Yeah.
first and then realizes, oh, that's my friend Joe. Hey, what you guys doing? Oh, we're dropping her off. She's going on a flight. Okay. And he keeps making double takes at Sally. Like, I recognize her. And I'm not going to talk to her, basically. Less would look like. And then he walks away.
And she's trying to hide.
Yep. She's trying to hide and not look up, make eye contact, and then turns to Joe and says, hey, thank goodness he didn't recognize me. It was the worst. I had to drive with him 5 years ago here to New York. It was the worst experience of my life. And now they're on the airplane. And, of course, the stewardess or flight attendant, back then it was still stewardess, now it's flight attendant, comes by and asks Sally, what would you like to drink? And orders a complicated Bloody Mary drink. Yeah. And I love how Billy Crystal's right in the back seat just leans in.
Well, yeah, he leans first to check out, and then he leans back because he's like, ah. But then he hears the order. He's like, I knew it.
It's you. And the first thing he does is, hey, you look familiar. Did we, and does a fist pump, did we basically have sex? Little do's and
there you go. I was like, I don't know what you're doing until you do the
little fisting.
And she turns to the guy she's sitting next to and says, we drove from Chicago to New York together 5 years ago. And Harry remembers.
Yep, remembers everything. They swap seats, and now they're sitting together. And just Harry's very interested in her.
They had a very interesting connection in that drive. So they kind of pick up where they left off, only they've grown a little bit. They've changed.
True, yep. Harry says that he is getting married.
Yeah. They kind of pick up where they left off as
a little
far
bit.
As,
being friends with the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And being, if you're together with someone, that makes it safer.
That's right. When they got off the plane, they says, the amendment is now that we're both in relationships, now we can be friends. That's an amendment. Sally's still very skeptical about him because then he asks, let's have dinner tonight.
One of the things they talk about was when you're dating and guy and the gal they've had sex, they're cuddling after, and he says, somewhere between 30 seconds and all night is your problem.
Because, the guy doesn't want to cuddle that much any longer and wants to leave. But he's seeing it as not in a relationship, but more a one-night stand. And that's why he's leaving.
Not necessarily. It's even dating. The guy just doesn't want to be there.
They've gotten off the plane, and Sally just doesn't want to have anything to do with him, and they split ways. 5 years later.
Sally's having lunch with Carrie Fisher and someone.
Doesn't matter. Carrie Fisher's there. Who cares?
It's another actress. You've seen her in other things.
Nope.
No.
I'm distracted by Carrie Fisher.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher's the best.
She is the greatest.
Yep, she's playing a character named Marie. And they're having lunch somewhere outside in New York City. And Marie likes to hook people up, set people up. And so, I guess in the scene, Sally's saying, I'm breaking up with Joe. We're breaking up.
They had just broken up earlier that week.
Early that week, okay. And so Marie instantly goes down and pulls out index cards of all the single men, Rolodex of all the single men that she knows. How about this guy? He's got double chins, but Sally doesn't have a problem with that.
See, now Facebook would be way easier for them if they would have just had that.
And the other problem with Marie is that she is dating a married man who will never ever leave her. The ongoing joke is,
You're right. I know you're right.
Yep. She keeps on repeating that all throughout the movie. She's never going to leave him, is she? Is he? No. You're right. I'm dumb. I'm an idiot. So, Meg Ryan is single.
This is one of the conversations that really reminded me. Growing up, women are taught, hey, if you're dating somebody, even if it's just for a couple of weeks, at least you've got somebody over a holiday. It's horrible to not have somebody over a holiday.
And the other thing is, you have to get out and dating. If you don't date and get a man, that woman's going to marry that man, and that could be your husband.
And it's better to say that you've been married than to have never been married at all.
Women be crazy.
Yep.
We cut to the bookstore?
Giant.
No, Giants.
No.
Oh, I'm skimming way ahead.
Game.
Oh, yeah, football.
Harry
It's not the Jets.
No, it's not Jets. It's Giants.
Giants.
Yep, that's right. We're at the stadium.
Harry and Jess.
Yep, Jess played by Bruno Kirby.
Harry tells his mustachioed friend that his wife left him.
They're getting a divorce.
They're getting a divorce.
Well,
he tells him a long story about...
It was about, like, she had already prepared a week out.
She had just told him she wanted a divorce.
And then the movers
show up.
Minutes, hours later.
With a guy that has a shirt that says, "Don't fuck with Mr. Zero."
You don't fuck with Mr. Zero. And the reason why she didn't tell him a week ago or before this was didn't want to ruin his birthday. Women be crazy.
For a tax attorney named Ira.
That's right. She's leaving him for Ira.
I apologize to anybody named Ira, but...
Terrible name. Not as good as Sheldon, though.
Oh, God, no.
Bookstore. There we go.
Now it's the
bookstore. Bookstore. Sally and Marie are at the bookstore. They're at the self-help area.
Yeah.
Self-improvement.
They're all the people are in the self-help section of this bookstore.
Yeah.
But Harry is there, and he's
standing in personal growth.
Yeah, and in his pants, because he's making eyes at Sally.
You beat me to it.
You did?
Yeah, I was going to make a dick joke, but you said it
Dick
first.
jokes. So simple. Harry walks over to Sally, and Sally's about to introduce to Carrie Fisher, and
as she's walking out the door,
slinks away. Oh yeah, and at the same time, Marie or Carrie Fisher said, "I just looked at my boyfriend's credit card receipt, and he bought his wife a $100 dress or a couple $100 dress, new nightgown. Oh, nightgown,
something like that.
Whatever.
They're kind of like dresses.
Oh, I don't know." Women things.
Oh, jeez. Really?
He's never going to leave her. I know. Carrie Fisher leaves tactfully, so that way Sally and Harry can talk. And you can tell Harry is definitely changed, and he's also depressed because of the divorce that's happening. And he's a lot more quiet and just talking. So how are you, basically? Oh, I broke with my boyfriend. I'm sorry. And
they end up going to lunch.
Yeah, and it's a genuine... He's genuinely feels bad, like, oh, this sucks. Well, let's have lunch together. Yeah. We're both.
She ends up talking about how she and Joe had just broken up. The way it came about was that she was with a friend's little girl, and they were playing I Spy a tree, I spy a lamppost, and she said, I spy a family. And Sally starts to cry, realizing the reason why she and Joe got together for a while and never got married was because, hey, the kids will never walk in on you. And she told him, you know what? We never fly off to Rome on a moment's notice, and we have cold, hard kitchen tile where we said we could always do it, and we never did. She's distraught. She's
putting it all out there, and she wants kids. He didn't, and
even if she didn't want kids, she just wanted that commitment.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. See, I thought they were actually married in the first time I watched the movie, but they had a silly conversation about death in apartments, saying that when somebody dies, and this is probably more of a New York thing, because there's a lot of people,
very much New York thing.
Somebody dies, well, they should have the obituaries along with apartment, so that way you can move right on in.
And Harry makes the comment that Sally is softer now. They've both grown.
Yeah, they've both grown. They've gotten older. It's been 10 years. Yeah, that's right. So they, Harry apologizes for the way he acted, and now, they just have a scene where they're becoming friends.
He makes the comment, now I've got a woman friend that I don't want to sleep with. This ought to be interesting.
We show a little montage of them doing things together where they go out to order Chinese or go to a Chinese restaurant, and while they're talking over this, you can tell the way she's ordering food, and then the waiter makes eyes, and a couple other scenes. She's putting mail into a mailbox, whatever, and
checking the stamp on
puts
each
one at a time, check the stamp, put it in, close it, make sure that one went. Then Harry just gets mad and grabs all of them. This is all voiced over as they're both on the phone, and they're both watching Casablanca together. And it's a split screen, which I liked.
I miss doing that. watching something on TV together over the phone.
Who did you do that with?
A lot of friends, mostly.
I don't think I've ever done that. Have you, Joe?
At least once?
Yeah?
Yeah.
This day and age, it's kind of hard to do that since everybody's watching something they've got on the DVR. Or
That's true,
they've
because you don't have
downloaded
to schedule your TV show watching.
That, and I miss those phones, those big phones. It comes up, the conversation that they had years ago about the movie, and Sally's answer, saying that she would go off with, or any woman in her right mind would go off and live in the Czech Republic and or Czechoslovakia and have the safe life. And she said, I never said that.
Oh, yeah, because she's changing her answer to Humphrey Bogart. That's right.
Because she's grown.
Because she ain't afraid of Nazis.
That's what I was waiting for.
Sorry.
That's fine. And Harry is depressed from his divorce, and he just starts groaning quietly to himself, and then to her, and then she says goodnight, and he continues to groan. Yep. Then they're in the park, and they're walking together in the park, and they're talking about their sex fantasies. Harry's is something to do with that he is doing the Sex Olympics, and he's getting good reviews from everybody except his mom is there, and his mom gives him like a 4.5 or something for.
She's representing East Germany.
Yep, and it must have been the dismount that he got poor grades on, a poor score on. And Sally's sex fantasy, that is a recurring dream she'd had since she's 12, and it's a faceless man comes in and rips off all her clothes. Harry says, "What else?" That's it. And it's the same dream? No, it's different. Sometimes I'm wearing different clothing. Just stare, turn, and walk away. Yeah, that it's not important to who the man is. Just that happens, and that's enough. Women are weird. I don't know. Explain it. Explain it yourself.
I don't get that one. That's still weird.
That's her? Okay.
Especially if you're wearing something that you really like. Then it'd be like, God damn it.
And it's a faceless man? This is creepy. So it's got no facial features? He's just like blank-faced man? Horrifying.
Is he just staring at you? You don't know.
You don't know if he's staring. He has no eyes, or you don't know. He's faceless. They go to a museum, and this whole scene is improvised by Billy Crystal.
You can tell.
And it definitely.
She actually looks over at Rob
the director.
Reiner, like,
yeah.
Do you want me to do this? And
I do remember seeing that and being like,
the fresh pepper. I can't do the.
Would you like to partake of my pecan pie?
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Yeah. And he's making her do the silly voice.
And at one point, he even does Miracle Mac's voice.
He does do Miracle Mac's voice.
He asks her on a date.
Hey, I'm not doing anything. I want to go on a date. And she says, no, I can't. I have a date. Oh, that's fine. Hey, good for you. And he generally does say, you got to do that stuff.
And
there was a little bit of mope in there.
A little bit?
There was.
A little bit of mope in there.
There was a little bit. And as she's avoiding talking about this, he asks her what she's going to wear. And she says, well,
oh, yeah.
This?
No, wear dresses. You look good in dresses.
You look good in skirts. Her face when she looks at him, you can see, like, oh, he does care about me.
He does notice me in that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's starting to change a little bit, hints here and there.
But then he makes a joke and...
Yeah, diffuses it, and then, they continue at the batting cages, and Harry is with Jess as a kid is impatiently waiting. Deal it, kid. I have quarters here. I'm an adult. And just talking to Jess, how it's different to talk to a woman about relationships than it is just talking about a man, because you can say whatever you want. And I can't remember what Harry says. Like, I could talk about this.
It was about making a lady meow.
Yeah,
oh, that's right.
He said he was with this lady the other night, and he even made her meow.
He's that good in bed that he can make a woman meow.
Right.
Or give her brain damage. Or she's a crazy cat lady that already mews.
This is New York. I'm going to go with a lady that just does that in general.
But he was saying that with Sally, it's different. Because Jess was asking him, hey, what's this deal? You like her. You get along with her. Why aren't you dating her?
Mm-hmm.
But he brought up the whole meow thing, and then Jess is stuck on that.
Which I think also is a good example of why you would be able to say different things to a woman, because a woman wouldn't get fixated on that type of thing as much as he did. I mean, she may get fixated on it because it's creepy and weird, but...
And then we come to the
Well,
Oh.
just before the batting cages, Harry and Sally are back in his apartment and talking about
the date.
how the dates went.
That's right.
Because he had a date and she had a date. They both went terribly, but
Yeah.
she was shocked that he still slept with his horrible date.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His date went really bad. Oh, I still slept with her though.
Was that also where they were rolling out the carpet?
Yeah, that was that scene.
I think that's also an interesting scene too, because even though we never see Sally's apartment, we see how slowly he puts his life back together, which is super slow.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. In the voiceover, he's just sitting there in a studio apartment on the floor, and he's just throwing cards into a bowl.
Because Helen took everything.
That's right.
And
Took everything out of his life.
Seemed like it would have been months until he got just regular chair
That's
and
true.
a TV, and then months after that did he decide to get a rug.
One thing at a time, whenever he feels like, or just.
I think it was also
brain.
to display him recovering from his devastation.
Then the infamous dinner scene at the New York deli, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Cat's Deli.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a very... It's a famous deli in New York.
Isn't it closed now? Yeah,
They
they
closed last year.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, they
They
had
were
a good
known
run.
for their mile-high sandwiches.
And they're known for this movie.
Yeah, they actually had a plaque on the table saying this is where Harry and Sally ate.
So, yeah, they're talking about sex and how much Harry sleeps around. He's just saying that he's never heard the women complain, basically saying that he's good at the sex. And she says, oh, yeah, they've never complained. How do you know they've had a good time? Oh, I know. Oh, because you can hear them orgasm? Well, yeah, obviously. Oh, because nobody's ever faked it with you. No, I can tell. Oh, can you tell? And then Meg Ryan goes into it.
Does her thing.
And everybody turns and watches.
Yeah.
I have what she's having.
Yes, one of the most famous movie quotes of all time, said by Rob Reiner's mom.
Yep.
Yes.
She's getting hot and bothered. Apparently that scene is cut out in India for on-airplane movie viewing.
I can understand that, but that's what that movie is known for.
Yes, it is.
Now, in the Disneyfied version of this movie, what do you think they made her say instead?
They just edited it.
Gosh! Golly!
She just started meowing.
Wow! Wowzers!
This is really... And she wasn't talking about orgasm. She was talking about the deli meat itself.
Yes.
Like, this is the best prosciutto ever.
They edited in a sandwich, and it's like floating above the table because they didn't want to put the time into it.
Wait, now there's a magic sandwich in this movie?
Oh, good Lord.
Wouldn't that scare then the Chinese market? Because they're afraid of ghosts. That's why Ghostbusters wasn't shown there.
Wow.
We got to think international. Oh.
So it goes into another little montage, and they're out getting a Christmas tree together, and
Time and passing.
Suddenly it's New Year's Eve.
Sally has bad hair.
As they're dancing and saying, "Oh, it's so awesome that even if we don't have a date, we can still go places together.
We can do this together,
we can technically have a date."
Yeah, and how about next year if we don't have dates for New Year's, we can do it.
And did you notice the song playing at that time is How to Make Two Lovers of Friends?
I didn't notice it this time.
Yes.
I was distracted by her bad hair.
Yeah, you kept talking about it.
I know. But Harry has shaved, and so they can go dance his beard because he had a beard. Now they can dance cheek to cheek. And then as they keep turning, they can see that they're realizing that they're getting closer and closer together.
They like it, but they're scared.
Yes, they're definitely scared. Well, they don't want to ruin the friendship.
Yeah. No, I get it.
They've got a good thing going.
Then you hear... off screen, Rob Reiner yells, 10 seconds to midnight, everybody. And they go outside into the balcony. While everyone's kissing, they think about possibly kissing each other.
And then they do it awkwardly.
They stare at each other like I said, they're afraid earlier, and shake hands, don't they? And then they get a little peck.
A very awkward one.
That they almost fell in love. And now Sally is
almost or did and decided to suppress it.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
because
they did. Yeah.
Mind seeing them spin around like that, and then you see Billy Crystal do it first. He melts in first, and then oh, brain, don't do this to me. Meg Ryan, thank you. She melts second, but then instantly looks like, oh God, what am I doing? And what is he doing? And then, but Billy Crystal never comes out of that. He
True.
stays in it, and she kind of pulls
Yeah.
out, and then he becomes awkward later. It kind of, to me, was like the whole, like, that moment where both of them finally connected in that way, but then instantly
Holding
we're
it
like,
off.
whoa,
Yeah, can't do this. Yep.
put some Jesus in here.
And then
Make room for
between the
Jesus.
scene change, there is another couple story, and this was the one that reminded me of my grandparents.
We're hanging out with Princess Leia, and she is complaining again about not being able to finally get her boyfriend to leave her husband.
She bought herself $60 worth of flowers to make him jealous.
That's right.
And then he ended up doing something instead with his wife.
But now we're getting to, I'll set you up with Harry.
Yep, they're on their way to a double date.
Double date. Yep. So it's going to be Harry with Marie and Sally with Jess. And then we cut to Bruno Kirby and Billy Crystal. They're walking and talking, saying, you're gonna like Sally. She's got a great personality. Oh, she's not pretty? No, I said she is pretty. If somebody asks you if this person is attractive or not, and the first thing they say is they have a good personality, then the person's ugly. Joe.
That's how people talk about me, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
exactly
I can
right. That's why
attest
I'm
to
looking
that.
at you. Why you were staring at me? I didn't know what to do. I got scared.
There's no Nazis for me to yell at anymore.
So they're at dinner,
yes.
and Harry says, Jess, Sally, you both work at the New Yorker.
Oh yeah.
And, oh, yeah, hey. And Sally says,
Harry, Marie.
you both grew up in New Jersey.
Oh yeah. Where are you from? Blah blah blah. Where are you from? Blah blah blah. Oh okay.
Oh,
And that's a conversation until Marie quotes a line that. Do you have it?
Quoting a line that he wrote in
That Jess wrote.
that Jess wrote in one of his articles. He's extremely flattered, saying nobody has ever quoted me to me before.
Mm-hmm. And so they start to hit it off. So Jess and Marie are hitting it off. Sally and Harry just look at each other. Oh, this isn't working out the way we had planned to have our best friends date you and you.
They're walking down the street, and Marie pulls Sally aside. Hey, what do you think of Jess? Is it okay if I hook up with him instead?
Oh, and she says, yeah, that's fine. I'll give some time. You want to let Harry down easily. And then the same
Right.
thing, Harry has a conversation with Jess. Hey, I really like Marie. Can I start dating her? Yeah, but just, do it subtly. Don't do it right away. Call her in a week or so. Okay. Jess says, hey, I'm kind of done with this date. I'm going to get a taxi. She says, yeah, me too. And they get in a taxi right away together and take off.
Very much jump into it.
Jump into
Like,
it
let's
and-
get
Oh,
the
yeah.
hell out of here.
and then into each other because
Together.
they wanted to get
Oh, yeah.
on each other right away. And they zoom off. Are we now at the sharper image? Or
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's another couple story.
Another
and
couple
then
story? Okay.
Sharper
Yeah.
image.
Then we're at sharper image as they are
Getting
Harry and
a
Sally.
gift
Yep. Getting
For Jess and Marie as they're moving in together.
getting a housewarming thing. I didn't know Sharper Image had an actual store.
Yeah.
But they're looking at all this silly stuff, a pith helmet with a fan on it. And
And
also
then
cuts...
they find the karaoke machine.
And karaoke's new at this point because it's
Yeah.
1989.
Yeah, it really was.
And so he didn't even say karaoke. He said it's a singing machine.
Yeah.
And he starts to play with it, and they sing a song from Oklahoma.
Surrey with the fringe on top.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Which makes me never want to watch Oklahoma
It's a bad
ever.
musical. I don't like Oklahoma.
Were you in it?
No, I wasn't in it.
Okay.
I've seen it.
I didn't remember if you were in that.
No, I don't
one.
care for that one. Were you in that one?
No, my brother was.
Okay. Was he a cowboy?
All I remember was that he danced with the bottle on his hat, and they cheated.
That is not Oklahoma. That's Fiddler on the Roof.
It's the same show.
No! Not at all!
Those are Jewish Russians.
Oh my god!
Oh, Joe Brain. This has been another Joe Brain incident. I also like that you can't remember Harry's name and you go to Billy Crystal. Like, it's in the movie title when Harry met Sally. There's only 4 characters in this movie.
And I can't remember Sally either, apparently, because my brain broke on that one, too.
Meg Ryan. And that's why I have Natalie back, because Meg Ryan's in this movie, and last time we had Natalie was for Top Gun with Meg Ryan.
Whoa!
Oh my god, am I
Mind
only going to do
blown.
Meg Ryan movies?
Only Meg Ryan. That's it. Meg
No.
Ryan expert.
All right, so they're singing Surrey with a fringe on top,
Yes.
and all of a sudden, Harry sees Helen walking toward them with Ira.
Yep. Ex-wife, and he's
Oh,
and he
it's not
instantly
good.
shuts down. Harry's just brrr.
yep.
Hello. They politely say hello. How you been? This is this. And well, bye. awkwardly and leave. Why did she even walk over? Just dumb
That's
of her. I mean,
it's horrible.
it is bad.
That's
Just,
bad taste.
I mean, Ira is not a handsome stud at all.
Oh my God, what does she see in him?
Money away from the Nazis for her must be. Uh-huh.
Harry's a Nazi?
No!
This has been the most shocking revelation of all.
Nazis don't like pecan pie.
You don't know that.
I don't know. I'll ask Indiana Jones about that.
All right.
Okay. So, yeah, now Harry is shutting down and just pissed off. They go over to their friend's house. They go over to Marie and Jess's house where they're having a conversation. Jess wants to have this awesome wagon wheel table.
No.
And having none of it. It's not awesome.
No.
It's
It's
ugly.
pretty damn terrible.
I
It's
think
really
it's
ugly.
ugly.
But his outfit's awesome. He's cut off jeans. Great.
Because they're moving in together.
Yes.
And
Harry's now getting depressed after seeing his ex-wife.
Marie is saying, I'm trying to help you have better taste.
Mm-hmm.
They're having this little discussion, borderline fight,
Yeah.
and it sets Harry off.
Yep. Because you guys are good together, but now you're arguing over the dumbest things. Picks up a plate, says, this $5 plate it could cost you $1,000 when you get divorced, and who wants in legal fees? Is it really worth that? And just flips out on them.
Put your names in all of your books now because
Yeah.
you'll be fighting over it 10 years from now.
Goes outside. Sally goes out and basically says you can't just explode emotionally like that on people. They didn't really do anything wrong.
And he throws it back at her saying,
Yeah,
have
he
you
does.
even slept with anyone yet?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. He just gets really pissed off at her.
And she asks, what does that have to do with anything?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's basically alluding to, you really haven't gotten back into the game unless you've slept with somebody.
You haven't gotten over Joe yet because you
Right.
need to sleep with somebody. And she says, I'll sleep with somebody when I'm falling in love with them or feeling that, not just to have the physical.
Because it means
Sex.
everything.
Yeah. And he does. Yeah, he realizes that he screwed up and apologizes.
You went over the line.
Yep, a little bit over
And
the
they
line.
hug it out.
Hug it out.
On the inside of the apartment,
Mm-hmm.
they basically realize that they overstepped from becoming a discussion to a fight.
Right.
They decide to just even it out right away, solve the problem that was there, and then
Yeah,
basically just get rid of the stupid table.
Brutal Kirby pulls out. Yeah, he's rolling out the wagon wheel table. Don't tell anybody.
And next we see them at a couple's game night at Jess and
Oh,
Marie's.
yeah, they're playing Pictionary.
Totally improvised scene.
Yep, you could tell.
Baby fish mouth.
Yeah, as he keeps on repeating over and over. It's a jackal. Yeah, they're playing Pictionary, and it's been days or weeks or months, really don't know. But,
Weeks, I'm
but each
guessing.
of, Sally and Harry each have, they're dating somebody. Not the
Jess
same.
and
Yeah.
Harry are talking about Sally's date, and Sally and Marie are talking about Harry's date. And they're realizing, well, Harry's dating somebody that is a baker, and Harry doesn't like sweets. Sally is dating somebody that really likes sports, took
Yep.
them to a baseball game. She hates baseball.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. So they're pointing out, oh, they're not the right.
Not the right person for them.
But also stressing the fact that they're good people that they're dating. It's just
Yes.
not
Right.
the right
Not the right
person.
people. Mm-hmm.
Well, Harry's phone rings, and it's Sally. She's crying.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, we're already there. Okay.
we're there.
Yep. Yeah, and Harry comes over, and she's in her bathroom at her apartment just crying because she found out that
Joe is getting married.
Joe's getting married, and she realizes that he didn't want to start a life with her. What's wrong with her?
He
'Cause
decided to marry this girl after only 6 months together.
That's right. After only a month, and they were together 5 years. That's why she's devastated, because it's been so quick that getting married right away.
It's not that he never wanted to get married.
Yes,
it was
he
that
wasn't
he
to her.
didn't want to marry her. And that's devastating to anybody that's been in a relationship for that long.
Yeah, but he looked like Gerald Ford. He just
I
don't
know.
I just picture Chevy
That
Chase falling
aside,
downstairs.
she still loved him at the time. And Harry asks her, do you
Take
want to
him
get
back
back
right
with
now?
Joe? And she says, well, no. But that's not
That's
the point.
not the point, though. Yeah, just not being wanted is the devastating part. And I like how Meg Ryan is going around with. Billy Crystal hands her
Box of tissues.
a tissue.
Well, holds them out.
She holds it, and she just drops one, then grabs another one, and maybe just touches her nose and gets another one right away.
Those things were weighted, though. She,
Yeah, they fall down.
Oh, man, that had to be a lot of snot on those things.
She's got a little bit of snot
She is
face.
truly distraught.
And Harry hugs her, says he's going to go get her something. And he says, "No, just keep hugging me." And then he He's trying to make her
me
feel
a
better.
little
Hold me longer. I just want to be held. And
Yeah.
then they start to kiss. They see another, and they
are
have sex.
waking up next to each other, or not waking up.
She's very happy, laying on his chest, and he has eyes of, oh shit, what did we do?
The look of panic.
Panic and terror.
It's the 30 seconds to
I think
all
it's more
night.
than that. Than it's just the 30 seconds.
I think it goes back to that earlier conversation.
I'm
of
sure.
the 30 seconds to all night
Yeah.
for cuddling, and
It does, and I think it also is the
more
fact
than that.
of they crossed that line.
that too, of
And
course.
It's going to break things. Something's going to change. He
Right.
knows it, but he never ever says it.
And in her mind,
They're a couple.
they're together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she goes and gets some water for them. She's okay. Well,
happy.
she's happy, but that was weird. But okay, well, yeah, you're right. Where she's the realization of, yeah, we're a couple now. He's freaking out. Doesn't want to say anything. Oh, do you want to do anything? No. Let's just go to sleep.
And
Go to sleep.
she thinks it's weird.
Yes, because it is weird and awkward. Morning, he's already getting clothes on as she's waking up, and he's bolting out of there. Hey, let's have dinner tonight. Okay, talk to you later. Okay, bye. He zooms out of there as
But he
fast as
does
possibly
kind of play
can.
it off as the, hey, I've got to go home and get ready for
You gotta
work,
get work
but you
too."
also have to too.
Yeah, and he zooms out of there. And each of them call their friends, who each have a phone on each side of the bed, which I like.
This
And
was
so,
one of the greatest scenes.
very well shot 4-way talking scene as all 4 of the characters are talking to their prospective best friends about what happened. It's embarrassing that they slept together. They finally did it, and both Jess and Marie say, "Finally, you guys did it. We've been waiting. It's great. You guys are great together."
But it was a mistake.
But it was a mistake, and he left awkwardly. We'll talk about it later, and they hang up. And I like that. Then Jess and Marie are in the bed together, and they sit down and say, "Never leave me. I don't want."
She says, tell me I'll never have to be out there again.
Yeah, that's it. Wedding? Oh, they have a
Not
dinner
quite.
date. They have a dinner date. That's right. The awkward dinner.
Yep, they go to their dinner date,
That's right. That
and
night.
they're
It's a mistake.
they both say, it's a mistake.
It was a mistake.
And, oh, I'm so relieved you think so
You
too.
said it
And
first. Thank you. Yeah, it was a mistake. And then they really don't talk. And they haven't talked for 3 weeks because now it's... Oh, that's right. They talk at... they're getting ready for the wedding. Carrie Fisher's getting her bride dress.
Her gown.
Yeah, her gown. Yeah, bride dress. Her
Bride
gown.
dress.
I am so bad at women's clothing. Dress? No, you mean a skirt. Oh, yeah. Anyway. I'm bad at women's clothing. Joe's bad at all actor names.
Yes.
It's all right.
True. I'm bad at names in general. It doesn't have to be actor names.
And at the wedding, Sally is the maid of honor, and
Mm-hmm.
Harry is the best man, of course. And there's
We can't pay for more actors in this movie. Gotta keep the budget low.
they meet up at the reception. He is trying to pick things up again as friends, and she is not having
She doesn't
it.
want to talk about it, but he persists, and then she says, "Fine, we'll talk." And they go into the hallway away from things. They continue arguing about it being not a big deal, but it is a big deal. And they go into the kitchen, and why does she?
The fight continues.
Yeah, the fight continues on. He's persisting, and she slaps him.
Oh, yeah. They come out just as Jess and Marie are giving a toast to the two of them, saying,
Yeah, if it wasn't for you two, we would have never have met.
right.
Basically. And then it's sad Christmas time as now Sally is getting the tree by herself.
And Harry had been calling her and
Constantly.
calling her and calling
Leaving
her
messages.
and leaving messages. And finally, as she's dragging the tree into the apartment,
She never picks up any of the calls, so maybe days go by. But then he uses the karaoke machine to sing the song, and then she finally picks up the phone.
Well, she also doesn't want him to use up the whole tape.
That too.
Jeez.
and he's calling to say, I'm sorry, and
Yeah.
says, are you going to
New Year's.
the Petersons' New
Yeah.
Year's Eve dance or
That they go to
whatever
every
it is?
year or whatever.
She said, Harry, I can't do this anymore. I'm not your consolation prize.
Yeah, that's a really good, important line.
Because he was saying we could go as friends because you don't have a date, I don't have a date.
We agreed
Yep.
last year and hangs up on him. She goes to the party reluctantly. She's dancing but not really having a good time.
Oh, no,
She's
she wants
fake
to go
laughing
home.
at guys that are telling her nothing jokes. And she keeps on looking at Carrie Fisher. I gotta get out of here. Just suck it up. It's only a couple more minutes till midnight. Harry apparently does like sweets because he's eating Melamars
Oh, yeah.
alone.
Quite a
So
bit.
Yep.
this movie's terrible now. They figured out their lies.
And he ends
And
up
he
going
goes-
for a walk to get out of the apartment. And,
Yep, get some fresh New York air.
Yeah, 1980s New York air.
Yep. So yeah, he's walking around and
There's this voiceover of
Yep.
Harry kind
Going
of
through.
recapping everything. The men and women can't be friends conversation and
yeah, he's
other
going
conversations of theirs throughout the
brain.
years. And he stops in front of that arch that she dropped him off in front of.
It's all coming around.
And oh my God, he realizes, I really love her, and starts to run.
Luckily, there's no snow on the ground.
And it's not icy.
There's no ice. And he's running to the party, and he gets there, and he says basically, "I love you," and she's like, "That's it. Now I just have to, basically say yes." And she starts to leave.
She's saying, you can't expect it to work that way.
Yeah, and then he continues and says,
And he goes off on this rant, like, I love it that it takes you an hour to order a sandwich. I love that you
love
get
all
this
your
crinkle
faults.
between
Yes.
your eyebrows when you get mad, and every little tiny detail about her that he's listing off, and it's beautiful. And she kind of starts to cry. Mm-hmm. And she's really mad because
she says something like, "That's what I hate about you, Harry. You say all these things, and it makes it impossible for me to be mad at you."
And he says, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's not saying I love you just because it's New Year's. It's just he realized it. He worked it through finally in his mind.
And she says, when you say things like that, you make it impossible for me to hate you. And I really hate you. Mm-hmm. As she's crying and kind of laughing, and then they kiss. Yay! Old Lang Syne starts to play. And of course he breaks the mood again, saying, "What does this mean? All my years I've heard this song, and I don't know what it means. Friends that we forgot, and we're supposed to remember that we forgot them, or..."
He's making it way more complicated than it actually is.
And she says, "It doesn't matter. It's just about good friends."
And then it cuts to them sitting in the couch where the old couple were talking about how they met, and they're talking about how they met as well, and that they're going to be having a wedding. They're getting married.
They already did.
Oh, they already did? Oh.
They did.
See, I'm confusing my brain because I remember we watched the deleted scenes, so
yeah.
I'm getting that mixed up.
They were talking about their honeymoon in the deleted scenes, but
That's right.
Anyway, yes, they're on the couch. They're talking about they got married. It only took them 12 years and 3 months.
And that's the movie. And then Harry Connick Jr. comes up again, starts playing.
Jazzes it up.
Jazzes
It
it
had
all
to
over
be
your
you.
face.
It had to be.
I liked this movie. I had no nostalgia with it, but I guess not necessarily fighting watching this movie or like a reason not to watch this movie, but it's a very well made movie besides it being a very good rom-com. Like the way it's shot, all the lines, everything, like I said, like subtle things here and there. It's not trying to a little sometimes punch you in the face or like be obvious about things, but I think it's a very well made movie.
Well, you only have so much time to get your story across, so sometimes you have to punch somebody
And
in the face.
I understand that, but sometimes they go overboard. But
Yeah.
and it's not like a typical terrible rom-coms where the whole situation is because of a incident where it was just a miscommunication. Where that's why I really hate rom-coms and they're very formulaic. Where this one is written more with heart.
It's very much a reflection of its director and its writer.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Rob Reiner and Nora Ephron.
Yep. Because they put a lot of themselves into the movie, so you can tell that that's why the movie worked.
Apparently, Nora Ephron tends to order things in a way that even the chef didn't know was the best way to order or to make the dish.
That's what Rob Reiner says, and he actually thought about acting in the movie, but then realized his friend Billy Crystal would be better at it. So.
And I think the main actors they
Great.
actually play to their better qualities in
Yes.
this movie too.
Yeah, they're both very good and very believable as people. Big recommend for me.
It all seemed very natural, and it's still one of my favorite movies.
It tricked me at the beginning
Okay.
where I was like, oh, so this is going to be a road trip movie? And it kind of was. And then it stopped and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's going to be a New York movie. All right. One of my favorite lines in the middle of the movie, which I guess I liked it so much I had to make a note about it, was the friends were fighting about the table, and Harry gets all upset, and then he stomps out, and Sally goes after him. On the inside, when they were talking later, Carrie Fisher leans in on Mustache Guy and says,
Bruno Kirby.
I will never fight over that plate. Or something to that extent.
The table.
The table. Yeah.
I thought she said the plate because he used it as an example of you'll fight over this plate and stuff like that. And she was like, don't worry.
If we have a divorce, I'll never fight you over that terrible wagon wheel coffee table.
And just the delivery of it and everything like that. I just was like, so far, that's my favorite line of the movie.
Yeah, both of them were great, Carrie Fisher and Bruno Kirby. Yeah, I really liked those actors a lot, too.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Okay.
It's weird that I had not seen it in its entirety until now.
Me too. Yeah, I saw most of it, but it does seem weird, and I've seen it twice in 1 week already, and now we own it on Blu-ray.
Well, we already
I had it on
it.
DVD.
You just didn't ever watch it.
Fair enough. Yep. Because I was so against romantic comedies, but this is a very good one and very good movie.
And that movie was When Harry Met Sally. If you want to get a hold of us, email at therewinderspodcast@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at RewindersPod. You can find this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Please rate and review. Has anyone done that?
No. Maybe you could help us out and do a little review.
You want me to review
not
us?
you. I'm talking to our listeners.
Oh.
Yeah. Make up an account and
Or 20.
Exactly. Yeah, inflate it. But what did I learn from this movie? I learned that moaning to yourself can be a good, comforting thing.
I learned if you want to find love, you drive that person to New York.
That's all you have to do?
Just shove them in the car and start driving.
Wouldn't that be considered kidnapping?
Until it's love.
Oh,
Stockholm Syndrome in your favor.
Natalie?
I learned that men don't dwell on much.
Nope. That's absolutely true.
You don't go too deep and you don't dwell on it.
I was going to make another dick joke.
I was going to make a dick joke. I was trying to be nice.
He's turning bright red right now, trying not to do a dick joke.
We are the Rewinders.
Dick joke.
Dick jokes are where we're at.